What's cracking, everybody? Money Smart Guy, Matt Sapaula here, hailing to you from Dallas, Texas, more specifically, Addison, Texas, where the corporate home office of PHP Agency is located. Joining me today on this episode is fellow cash flow, first-generation millionaire from Houston, Texas, Rodolfo Vargas. Rodolfo, how you doing, brother?
Matt, I'm super excited to be here today. Well, thank you for the introduction, but guess what? We have another world-class speaker today, a world-class guest that we have today. Newly promoted senior vice president, have a great story that everybody needs to hear his story. Super excited. Fellow Honduran. He's from Honduras, okay? I'm from El Salvador, so he's next door. So super excited to have the one and only Christian Orellana. Everybody's going to be hearing about his story. So Matt, I'm super excited for today.
And in addition to that, by the way, we have the Hispanic Panic on this podcast. And in addition to that, we got a bunch of other topics we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about our current book of the month, Endurance. We're going to talk about inflation. Inflation is at 8.7%. What can you do about it? We're going to talk a little bit about some key news here inside Insurance Newsnet magazine, which is the major trade publication of the life insurance industry. We're going to take some questions from you. We're going to provide answers. But if you got somebody in your mind that owns a property and casualty insurance agency, make sure you share with them this episode. To share it right now, because Christian is going to share what he did with his multiple agencies in Southern California in this episode of the PHP Podcast, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Are back. So Rodolfo, let's jump right into it. Who do we have as a special guest on the PHP podcast today?
So Matt, I remember when I met him, and I heard about him because I heard about him through Jose Marlin Gaitan, right? And
superstar. He's a superstar.
Yes. And he came on board. He was former I believe at that time he still have a property and casualty agencies over there in California, Southern California. And he came on board. And out of all of a sudden, when somebody comes into is new in the company, you don't know if they're going to be competitors. You don't know if they're going to be players. He came, he started making money super fast. He started building the business super fast. He recently just became senior vice president, him and his wife. And I believe that he can be one of the biggest superstars that we have in the company. Super excited for him. Every time we're in trips, I find him. I don't know how, but we find him around. He's always there. But Matt, super excited for him because his future looks bright. Super excited about his future. Super excited about what he's about to do in the company, in the business, with his team. So we have my fellow Hondurans, Christian Orellana. Christian, do we have you on the podcast today?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. First of all, I want to give, big thanks to God for the opportunity to be here with you guys today, to be able to share my story, because this has been my dream. This has been my dream since you guys started with this podcast. I was like, I can wait so I can get my message. I can get the opportunity to be in the podcast with Matt and Rodolfo, so I'll be able to tell my story, because that's what I signed up for. I want the world to know my story. I want the world to know who the Orellana family is. So that's very, very important for me. So like I said, first, thank to God and thanks to PHP for the opportunity to be here, and to my amazing wife, Flor Orellana, too. That she's like, "You're gonna go there alone?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm gonna be there by myself."
A couple of years ago, when the pandemic first hit, Rodolfo, and the lockdowns first hit, we were going around just doing Facebook Lives and IG Lives with everybody, because everybody was, stuck at the house. And one of the people we chose to talk about their story and why they sold their multiple their car body businesses, as well as their property and casualty insurance. They sold all that. We're going to get to that here in a second, but they sold all that for multiple seven figures to do this. And so we're going to unpack why, but I just want to make a comment, Rodolfo. Those glasses are making you look very studious right now. You look it's like very Malcolm X. You know, it's like, yo, it's like Rodolfo, man. He's like,
I just became a nerd right now.
he's like,
but it's the glasses. You know, it's really good. Everybody needs to use glasses now. But I do it for the light, to protect the light from the.
Oh, there's the blue lenses.
Yeah, these are the protection. Yes.
Okay.
But I'm very excited because I wanted to hear. You know, everybody needs to hear his story. So tell us before PHP, where you're from. Tell us about you. Tell us who you are, Christian, before PHP.
Well, before PHP, obviously, like you said, I'm from Honduras. I was born and raised in Honduras. We come from a very, humble beginnings, like, from a poor country, third world country, Honduras, the number one country in the world as criminal, as the number one, the crime, it happens 14 to 17 murders per day in Honduras. So very dangerous place to live as a kid. But I was blessed to have an amazing mom and dad that were always were protecting us and everything. So my story begins when I'm in Honduras. I used to lay down and see the planes go through by my house. And I said, one day I'm going to be in planes that I'm going to get bored about it. But I was dreaming already as a kid. I was 12 years old, 14 years old. And then, we got the opportunity that we waited 11 years for our documents to come to the United States. One of my aunts asked for my mom, and then because she was married, it was a package that my dad was able to be in that package, and all my brothers and my brothers too. And then we waited 11 years for our documents. Unfortunately,
how old were you when you immigrated? When you came into
when I came to the United States, I was 15. And then but the story begins when my mom gets diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, and everything was timing. Everything was timing at the time. I guess at the time, thinking about it, because she got diagnosed cancer back in 1999. 1999, she got diagnosed with breast cancer. We get our documents in 2000. In 2000, yeah, we get our documents in 2000. And then my mom was like, going through treatment and stuff like that. And she said, we're gonna wait. We got our documents, and sitting on the house. So we were ready to come. But one day my aunt said, you know what, is enough. I want your mom to be here. I want you guys to come over here. And then my mom said, you know what, yes, I want to leave you guys in the United States. If anything happens to me, I want to make sure you guys have a future that you can look forward to. So we took the decision. We got the tickets. And just like today, she came in 12 o'clock at noon. It was lunchtime. And she said, grab a backpack or grab whatever you have because we're leaving tomorrow. We're like, what? Yeah, we're leaving tomorrow. We're going to the United States. We're moving. This is over. This life in Honduras is over. We are packing everything that you can't. Grab a backpack and let's go tomorrow morning to the airport because we're leaving. So from one day to another, we left our country. We left our home that, it took them hard work to build in Honduras. And we just came. We just came full of, dreams and stuff that we wanted to come here so my mom can get treatment to be able to see if we can save her life. And unfortunately, 5 to 6 months into this country, for some reason, only God knows why he does these things, but 5 months into this country, my mom will always go to the doctor for treatment and somebody will go with her all the time, an adult. My mom, my dad, my brother, my aunts will go with her. But that time, that specific day, it was only my mom and I. And I go to the hospital, UCLA right here in Torrance, and we go to the hospital and the doctor was very nervous. He was coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So remember, he was reading books and I don't know, he was nervous. He was nervous. I can tell he was nervous. And he said, do you speak any English? I said, well, I understand a little bit. So tell me what's going on. And then he said, I need you to tell your mom something. I need you to tell your mom that she only has 5 to 6 months to live.
Wow.
This is a year, literally 5 months after coming from Honduras, changing all my world around. And I'm sitting there and my mom understood. My mom was a professional bilingual secretary in Honduras and she understood.
Are you the oldest in the family? You have
No. I got 2 older brothers. One is 41 and the other was 42. I'm 36, and then I have a younger brother. He's 34.
So you're the only one over there with your mom.
I was the only one in that room. And then my mom looked at me and said, well, son, you only have mom for 6 to 5 months. and a hugger. And then we went home and we broke the news to everybody. So it was a devastating moment. But now I see it. It was a very big learning experience for me in life. I learned a lot from that. Until this day, I keep learning from that situation because I see life different. I see life different. And we're going to get to that of what's going on right now. But I see life different now because the most important thing is like I always had God with me. You know, and we don't force people to talk about God and business, but as a person, as a human being, my connection with God has been number one. And I think that's what has helped me a lot to go through these tough times because, you know, a 15-year-old telling the person that literally give you life, telling that person she's going to die.
Was your dad around in Honduras or was?
Well, he came. He was here.
He came with you guys. Okay.
Yeah, he came with us. Yeah, he came with us. Very hardworking man. You know, did whatever he could to provide for us. And it was only my dad and my brother working at that time when we came because I was 15. And then my younger brother was 12 when my mom passed away. So my older brother got stuck in Honduras because when you turn 21 years old,
that's right.
You don't get your documents, you're out of the package. So we brought him with after they told my mom that she only had 5 to 6 months to live with a visa. Like an emergency visa for him to come. So he came and he stayed here and then he got married and got documents right after that, 2 years after that. But that's how we brought my oldest brother to the United States.
I had a similar situation with my older sister because we received the papers like that, right? Like 11 years, 12 years later, my dad's brother requested my family, right? So we even forgot about it. 11, 12 years later, there are the papers over there at the dinner table, right? And we're looking at the papers. And I was at that time, I was about 16. And my sister was about to become an adult, my older sister. My older sister has special needs. And when the moment that we receive the papers, we look at the papers and say, holy moly, if we don't leave right now, my older sister, she's gonna turn adult. And when she turns an adult, she cannot come with us. Yep. So what happened was this. So the next, similar to what happened to Kristen, the next day, my parents says, we need to go. We need to go. And I'm like, I'm not going. You guys go, I'm not going. So, and I told my parents they could go, but I was not gonna go, that I make my decision. I was 16 years old. And they came and I came later, right? My parents, my brother, my 2 sisters, they came. But was powerful about what you said. You not only had the issue about, hey, I'm in a new country, I'm in a new culture, it's a new language, I'm 15 years old. You also had your mom. You also had your mom. You not only had to go over the crisis of being in a new country and missing the country, missing your life and everything, your friends and a family. You also have your mom. That's just, I'm telling you, it's
one thing I've, the years I've known you, Christian, and the tragedies that you've had to deal with and endure that I've seen you go through. It's an extreme amount of character that you show throughout it, because there's so many things that have gone in your life, just tragic stuff, but you're still in there, man. You, your wife, you're still in there. A lot of people don't do that. Some tragedy happens in life. They check out for a month, 2 months, shoot, 6, some even a year. They check out. It's not for me. I'll do something else. So the question I have for you, Christian, is the stuff that you go through, the tragedies, like the deep personal stuff that you go through, the deep personal losses that you go through. How do you mentally keep locked in? Because there's a lot of people out there is listening to this right now, part of the PHP Agency family, not part of the PHP Agency family, that deal with this on a daily basis. COVID, lockdowns, layoffs, furloughs, inflation, boom. So many things happen. What has kept you just boom, 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 boom?
I would say one of the things, number one, like I said before, is God. Always, giving my heart to God and always looking for answers with Him. But the second, I would say the environment, the people that I have around me, like you, Rodolfo, Patrick David, and Jose Gaitan, people that I can reach out to process things. And not only business-wise, but personal and on a personal level. And I remember that when a second tragedy happened, that my brother, when I started in the company in 2019, I get started July 2019. I get licensed. I sell my business October 31st, 2019. November comes, Thanksgiving. We're with the family, my dad, my brothers, and everything. My brother goes to Temecula to play a soccer tournament. On Saturday, they call me. I was in the Burbank office. Where we had an office with Gaitan, and I got a phone call that something happened to my brother. They don't know what happened. I need to go to Temecula. I drive to Temecula, find him in a hospital bed, and unfortunately, he was 15 years old and passed away 12 hours later.
Wow.
Yeah, gone like that. So environment and God and positive, and always looking forward to be an impact in people's life. I would say those three things. Always be an example to other people. How people is going to see me is very important for me. Are they going to see me? Because I've been preaching that I have zero excuses. So if I start now, and because, for me, that's one of the other things is, how is people going to see me? Because I we talk with Patrick all the time, and he's like, how is people going to see you when you walk in the room? Yeah. So that stuck to me. That stuck to me very, 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 very strongly, because, is it a guy that is going to walk in and say, oh, this is a guy with excuses, or this is a guy that is a victim, or there is a guy that always say he's going to show up and he doesn't show up because something happened down the road. So that was very important for me as well.
Yeah, there's something to be said there, right, Rodolfo? When there's two schools of thought. One school of thought says, don't cast your dreams, your vision, your goals, work in silence, and then come up and shock them. And then there's a school of thought, which is PHP school of thought. We're just going to let you know what we're going to do. This is our vision. We're letting you know what we're doing. There's our goals. This is what we're going to work towards. You can't stop us. In my opinion, when you don't share what your vision and your goals are, it's kind of like saying, well, I didn't say it anyway, and if I miss out on it, well, nobody knew anyway, so that was an out. But if you hold yourself accountable, like what you were doing, Christian, you held yourself accountable to your word. And the first value and principle of PHP Agency, when we signed the Declaration of Values and Principles, was we honor and keep our word. So what do you say, Rodolfo, what do you say about that when Christian is here keeping his word? Because you're a leader of an organization. You lead WTP. You're a co-owner, co-founder of PHP. How valuable is this component of saying, let me declare my intentions and hold me accountable to my intentions?
Extremely valuable. I mean, our word matters, right? I heard this phrase the other day from our CEO, right? I'm going to paraphrase. And he says this. He says, the day that you choose to be a leader, you give up the right to be a victim.
You have
Tweet that out. Tweet that out. Say it again for the people in the back.
So he says, the day that you choose to be a leader, you give up the right to be a victim.
Oh, God.
Like, it's like, okay, anybody can be a victim. Anybody can be a victim. But if we made the decision to be a leader, if I told my guys, hey, I'm your leader, I have zero, I cannot feel sorry for myself anymore. I cannot be a victim. Period. I can't, because I'm a leader. So it comes into leadership. But I'm curious about this story because, Christian, I think that there is something else that we can learn from this. Because I'm looking at how old are you right now, Christian? How old are you? 36. So watch this. So you're 15 years old. You're in a new country. 5 months later, you don't speak the language. You're in a new language. You're going to a new territory. You just left Honduras. You came into the U.S. with your mom. Your mom just passed away. But people don't know that you started businesses. You started what happened to you after that? Why? Because somebody would have said, you know what, I give up on life, Right. I give up on life, which I'm going to tell you, man, if somebody else tells me that story, I would say, you know what, I wouldn't be able to say anything, but you didn't. You pushed forward. You became a very successful insurance guy. You were very successful before doing PHP. Yes. So what happened to you after that?
So that happened when I was 15. My mom passed away. So I started working, right? When I was 16, I started getting a job in a coffee shop, and I worked in a coffee shop. And then from there, I wasn't that happy. So I started moving around, and I ended up working at the LAX airport. And I used to work for an airline company that will get flights at midnight, and I will work the midnight shift, and I'll get paid really well. I was 19 years old. I was making, at that time, I was making about $4,000 a month. This is back in 2004. So 2004, 2005. So I was making, decent money. But one time in the parking lot, it's raining, and I'm 19 years old, and I'm sitting on my car, and it's 3 a.m. And I said to myself, this is the life that my mom sacrificed for us to come to the United States? For me to have a job, work for somebody else and be working days and nights? I think the sacrifice has to be a little bit more worth it. So I said, I want to become a business owner. I want to own my time. That was the conversation I had with myself. So at 19 years old. So immediately, the first thing that I did, Rodolfo, the first thing that I find myself doing and changing was not hanging around with people my age. I was 19 years old, and I was hanging out with people that were 30, 40 years old. That's something I did myself. Because my people, or my friends of my age, party, girls, drugs, and this and that, and spending the money, living with mom. Since I was 20 years old, I used to live by myself. I had my own apartment. I never live, I never live in an apartment. I always live like in a duplex, like a home type, here in California, because that was my life that I wanted to have. So I stopped hanging around with them, and I became a father at 21 years old as well. I have a beautiful 14-year-old that she's graduating middle school today, and she's going to junior high this year. And then I said, I want to have time with my daughter. So that was the thing that went through my head. I was talking to this guy. He's from Colombia, and he told me, you know what? You gotta speak a different language, and you gotta dress up. And I was like, because he will drive his Jeep, nice Jeep. He would drive into the airport, and his name was Marcos. And then he will always come in suits, nice suits, right? And I was like, okay. So then I started dressing up a little bit like that as well. So, I started meeting people that were having a little bit of money, business owners, and I started hanging out with them and this and that. So I spoke the language. So I started my first company was a transportation company. I used to work for a transportation company for 7 years. And then I made the company from $3 million to make $7 million in a year, gross, right? And I was like, if I'm doing that for somebody else, why can I do it for myself?
Hello.
Right. So, and then I started with little three trucks, right? Moving freight all over the United States. And I was the dispatcher there, logistics. I was good with numbers. I was good with, putting things together. So I was like, you know what? I can do this for myself as well. And then one day, I go out with one of my friends to dance salsa in Long Beach. And then I meet my beautiful wife. She came to me. She can tell you otherwise. She came to me and she asked me to marry her. Okay.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to verify that. We're going to have to verify that in the women's trip, the PHP ladies trip. We're going to have to verify that. So
right?
Continue.
So I meet my wife. She's a PNC owner. And I met her. We had a great time. And then we just texted back and forward. And then she told me she was a business owner. And I told her I want to grow. I want to have other ventures as well. I want to have a business. That's my dream. That's what I want to do. Right? Since I was 19, I was thinking about it. So she's like, okay, we started talking. And then one day we were going to go dancing, but the place was closed, and we ended up having dinner, talking for the first time. Right? We were dancing partners, but that's it. But then one time we had dinner and we started having a conversation. And she said, I never thought you were smart at all. I thought you were just a good dancer. That's what she told me. I was like, what do you mean? That's an insult, right? and then, but she said, you actually have a brain. That's what she said. You actually have a brain. So then we started talking, and she said she wanted to grow her business. At the time, she had, I believe, 2 stores. And she said, I want to grow my business. So I said, you know what? I have a little bit of capital to none, right? Because trucks, when they break down, you have to pay money to, tires and mechanics and stuff like that. So my capital was very small. But she said, you know what? if you have the desire to grow with me, we can do it together, but we're going to be working side by side.
Floor's recruiting. Floor's recruiting, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So we opened up our first store in Santa Ana, actually down the street from where I'm at right now. And we started there working, driving from Long Beach to Santa Ana every day for 6 months until we make that office very successful. And then we hired some people. We were able to. So from there, we went to 8 locations, from 2 to 8. And in a period of 5 years, we were doing PNC and we were doing taxes. My wife is oh my God. Just to tell you this, she got pregnant with her first baby. Oh, the first time I told my wife I wanted to have babies, she wanted to jump from the car, okay? But we had our first baby. Our first baby was born January 10. And 5 days later, she was in the office doing taxes.
Wow.
So
these ladies, man.
She was taking excuses away from me. So, I was like, oh my God, Lord Jesus, you give me this environment not to have excuses. And then there's a woman that just gives birth to a baby, and 5 days later, she's in the office working with clients. And so we hire a babysitter to be in the office, in the back office with the baby. And she will go back there to feed the baby, and then she will come out and, okay, Mr. Client, we'll do your taxes, blah, blah, blah. Because we had a rule. Tax season, the ladies don't get pregnant, please. Don't have babies. They check that, right? So she's like, I broke the law, right? And then our second baby was born April 20, also in tax season. Again, 4 days later, she was in the office. So we grew the business to 8 locations. And then from there, also, we had the opportunity to open up some body shops. We opened up a body shop. And then we had 3 locations. And then PHP came along at the right time, I think. And we can go, a little bit more into that when PHP came into our life. But that's exactly how we became business owners, successful. We were traveling. We had a lot of learning experience with the company that we were in. It was a franchise, and we had to figure it out on our own. But we learned a lot. So we're grateful for the learning experience.
So, Christian, what we want to know is, sounds like you had a lot of success in those ventures. So why sell those 8 locations and go 100% all in PHP?
Oh, there's too many, but one of them is, if this is the way I thought, okay? I was 8 locations, 46 employees. Payroll was $100,000 every 2 weeks. Liabilities, people suing me because they were stressed out to be in a computer, okay? I don't know who gets stressed out on being on a computer selling insurance. But there were people screwing us, because we don't have any laws to protect the business owners here in California. So I got fed up with that. And they showed me what PHP can do. And they showed me the system, and they showed me how we get paid. And I'm sitting with Gaitan and Marlene in a restaurant, and I'm saying, sign me up. I want to try this because it sounds like a legit business that I see myself engaging with. But the main decision I took at that point, when I thought about myself coming to this country when I was 15 years old, that nobody sat down with us and educated us as a financial. We never had, even as business owners, we didn't have any financial education when it comes down to life insurance. We didn't know. I was a business owner. I didn't have life insurance when I said that.
No, you didn't have life insurance?
I didn't have life insurance.
Even though you were in the insurance industry with property casualty.
No, I didn't have.
And after the experience that you have with your family, you didn't have life insurance? No.
I didn't know. So at that point, I was like, oh my God. So how many people out there is ignorant as me? How many people can I help? Business owners, even Latino business owners. How many Latino business owners I can help with this information?
Yep.
This is great information. So sign me up. So I look at my wife and I said, let's sign up, baby. And she told me I got started a year ago, but I didn't do anything.
So in other words, so if I can unpack this a little bit, the more you scale and grow a property and casualty agency, whether it's your 1 location, 2 locations, 3, in your case, 8.
Yes.
Because of the intensive service work for a property and casualty type of business, you have to increase your staff to support that service work. Because if you don't do that, if you don't hire people for that service work, you're the one having to do the service work as the agent, right?
Of course, and I couldn't be at 8 places at the same time. So it was dealing with the employees, calling in sick. If they were calling in sick, it was me running around to try to get someone to cover that position. Or if not, then my wife will have to run, and I will have to go to another store, and we just jiggling around, right? And then for the amount of money that we were making, honestly, I can tell you that it was not worth it. It was not worth the stress. It was not worth the try even to do that. So when I see the opportunity with PHP, and I'm able to do 11 years of PNC that we did, and I can do 11 years here, and I can make passive income override $150,000 minimum, I was like, sign me up. I don't have employees. I don't have to pay overhead. I don't have to pay rent in 8 locations. Because just to pay rent in, right now, retail in California is crazy. It was $4,000 per store.
Yep.
Marketing.
Rodolfo, how big? What's your super team volume? Rolling 12, Rodolfo. What'd you do last year?
15. Last year was about 30 million. Right now it's 15 million.
Excellent. And you're exponentially growing. And you were a big driving force of the growth of the company last year. So with that being said, how much staff do you have?
Right now, I got 3. Sorry.
I'll go to Rodolfo and I'll go to you, Christian.
Okay.
Rodolfo.
I have 10.
Okay. And then Christian?
I got 3 right now.
Yeah. We have 7. I'm sorry, 8. We have 8 staff. So we have in other words, Rodolfo, you have a $15 million operation, but you only have 10 support staff.
Yeah.
Right. And so in other words, for those of you out there, you wonder why, is because our culture based on the blueprint that a company creates, our compensation system, not a commission level. There's a difference between commission level and overall compensation. Our compensation level dictates that the more we grow in scale, the more we also teach our brokers, for lack of a better term, that run their own individual offices to start hiring their own support staff. Because Rodolfo, let me flip another question. In your entire hierarchy, how many jobs has your hierarchy created outside of your 10 support staff that you just have?
Tons.
Yeah, that's. Mm-hmm. So as we're teaching our guys in PHP not only how to grow a business, but also to employ staff that may not be on our payroll, but on the payroll of the people that we've coached to run their own small agency. So effectively, we're impacting a lot of people, not just from an independent contractor standpoint, from people that actually have jobs that we're paying a salary to. So I can imagine. One question before I move on to these other topics here, Christian. One thing from your story I'm curious about: how much competition did you have to deal with as a property and casualty insurance agent, knowing that every 15 seconds, Geico, Flow, Mayhem, Allstate, State Farm, all these guys are advertising on these commercials. I'm curious, did that affect your business and your persistency of the book of business you would have?
Of course, because in every corner you have a different insurance office, so people will shop around. So, in the corner they're giving me $100 less, so I want to cancel my policy here. So your retention of customers was very low. Like literally, you will have to be renewing policies every 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
Because people will shop around because unfortunately everybody's just trying to save a buck right now.
Sure.
Especially right now, but back then it was the same thing. Even for taxes. Oh, they're giving more money over there. I'm going to go do my taxes over there. And people don't even care. Don't even know. They're getting in trouble, getting audited, stuff like that. Oh, but they're giving more money over there. Why is it that you can only give me this? Like they will treat you like that as a business owner as well. Like they'll be shopping around. So the retention was very low.
It's awesome. Awesome. Guys, if you're not following Christian Orellana already, make sure you do so. We're going to show his Instagram here in a second. One thing I want to talk about is one of the publications we subscribe to, and I hope everybody subscribes to, is Insurance Newsnet magazine. Rodolfo, you were featured in this. What year was that? 17, 18?
Yeah, I think it was 18.
18.
Yeah.
They came down here.
Yeah, you were featured. We were featured. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, speaking of which, last week I just did a webinar for them on how to use social media on behalf of Insurance Newsnet magazine. But this is something that everybody should subscribe to and read. It's free. There's no cost to this. If you don't pick up the actual physical magazine, go to their website, Insurance Newsnet. insurancenews.com. So one of the things I like reading about is the updates in terms of market trends. Okay, so I'll read off a couple. I want to know you guys' feedback on it. First thing, new life insurance premium growth hits 40-year high. So the insurance industry is selling more life insurance in 2022 than it was back in the 80s. So Christian, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, that's the opportunity I saw when I came into the company. That's the opportunity I saw. Insurance, life insurance was not even talked about. So I'm like, there's a big potential. I don't have that many competitors. And with the services that we provide, we have over 26 companies that we can offer. So I was like, no brainer. This is a huge opportunity. And matter of fact, right now, P&C business, the auto insurance industry right now, there's a lot of companies going out of business because they cannot support the loss ratio. And actually, you know, how pandemic hit, there's not enough car parts. And there's some companies that are not accepting full coverage right now. There's no comp and collision right now. There's a lot of companies that are saying, you know what, no, we don't want any comp and collision. So they're only selling liability here in California.
Because the parts to repair those cars are a lot more expensive today.
A lot more expensive. I had to wait 2 months and a half for my bumper, 2 months and a half for my car. So it's crazy right now.
Yeah, it says here, policy sales improved 2% in the fourth quarter. For the year, policy sales were up 5%. Whole life premium increased 27% last quarter in fourth quarter 2021, representing the strongest quarterly premium growth for whole life in 30 years. Whole life. Wow. Boring old whole life. Index. Now check this out. Index Universal Life gained new premium rose 29% compared with the prior year. Rodolfo, how are you seeing life sales in your organization?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what's going on with the Hispanic market. Okay, so you have a Hispanic market. It's not. You meet with the different other ethnicities, you find out that they have a policy. So the way that you sell to them is, hey, let me improve the policy that you have. Let me get you more coverage. Let me improve it. Let me offer you living benefits. Let me offer you. That's the typical market. What you are going to find out in the Hispanic market is they have zero insurance. Zero. No education. It's not necessarily education. It's certain type of reluctancy of buying something. The way that the studies have shown is we have the Asians, we have the whites, we have the blacks. Hispanics is the number one ethnicity with less life insurance. Okay, and culturally we have a reluctance of buying life insurance. We buy car insurance, we buy cell phone insurance, we buy home insurance, we buy everything insurance, but people don't insure their life. Is something like some people call it. When you ask them, they will give you some weird questions, some weird answers. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. They say stuff like that.
Yeah, if I buy life insurance, I'm going to die.
Oh, correct.
You're going to die regardless if you buy it or not.
Yes, I'm not going to talk nationalities, right? I was talking to this Mexican family one day, and they said to me, I don't want to buy life insurance because I don't want to leave money to Sancho.
Sancho.
Yes, and in El Salvador we don't have Sanchos. I believe in Honduras we don't know that word. Okay, and we just find out.
Filipinos, we don't know that word either.
I didn't know what that was. I had to investigate. I didn't know what that was, but it's a reluctancy of buying it. It's not part of our culture to buy it, even though like Christian said. In Honduras is one of the highest ratio of debt. In El Salvador as well. And it's very risky to live over there. You know, you don't know if you're gonna come back. And when people, the same with Mexico, you know, Mexico, they celebrate the debt. You know that.
Yeah.
There is a day that they celebrate death. Do you know that?
Yeah. Is that Dia de la Muerta?
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
It's like normal. We talk about it. People die. Even though we know that people die, even though we, since we're kids, we know that we talk about death like natural. My dad used to tell me, I grew up in the war in El Salvador. And my dad used to tell me, listen, son, we're gonna sleep in the first floor of the house. And I'm talking about, I'm 7 years old, 8 years old. We're gonna sleep in the first floor. Say, why, Dad? Because if we sleep in the second floor, it's a bomb. We're gonna die. Oh, oh my gosh. So I don't want to die. We talk about death all the time, but it just happened that life insurance is not something that we commonly talk. It's not in our priorities at all. It's not in our priorities. Now we have other priorities, Hispanics, and I can call out my own race, right? I cannot call out my own ethnicity.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of money in quinceañeras.
Which, by the way, it's a smart thing because it's like a fundraising type of activity if they play it right. I mean,
they don't play it right.
No, they don't play it right. In the Jewish community, they got bar mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs, right?
No Hispanics, bro. No Hispanics.
Right? But think about it. The Jewish community, they raise a lot of money. They spend a lot of money, but they also raise a lot of money to create some form of financial cushion or a head start for a 15, 16-year-old.
What a smart way to do it. That's the way that we should do it, the Hispanics, but we don't do it like that. We invite everybody and people get into debt for a quinceañera, okay? We get into debt for quinceañeras, we get into debt for weddings, we get into debt for so many other things, and it's our nature. But let me tell you the good news. Let me get the good news, okay? When somebody like Christian, they go and they educate them. When I meet with them and I speak sincerely to them, educate their families. When we talk about education, listen, guys, the reality is this. Everybody knows what one day we're going to die. You need to protect. What would you rather have? To give them a quinceañera? Or if something happened to you, for your kids, for your daughters, for your daughter, for your son to be okay financially, for the house to be paid off. So if we talk like that to them, they change and they buy a policy. The problem also with our industry, now that you mention it, Matt, is that we don't have agents.
Yeah.
We don't have agents.
Speak the language.
Correct. There is no professional agents that speak Spanish and they go in and train them and educate them. That doesn't exist. We don't have that culture of, guys, Hispanics don't do insurance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Hispanics don't do insurance or don't make it in insurance. So maybe they try it, they quit and they go do something else. We're supposed to do other type of jobs. We're supposed to work in the rigs, work in the oil and gas, working as
with your hands.
Yes, with our hands, or work in the construction. That's what we're supposed to do. And in sales is seen as oh, that guy only does sales. Yeah, that he's in sales. You know, sales is not a look-up profession. You imagine you're telling your father-in-law, maybe you're dating this girl, right? And this guy go, what does your son-in-law? He sells insurance. I mean, he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it.
So speaking of son-in-law, maybe Christian, you lean on this one. It also says here that the industry, the life insurance industry, is missing the boat. Let me read why. The financial services industry is leaving an enormous amount of money on the table by ignoring or failing to attract women as potential customers. Do we have a problem with this at PHP?
No, we don't. We have I believe it's 54% of our agents are female.
That's right.
So that's another thing. Another reason why I came to PHP is because as a woman, you can be a leader as well. We have many women that are leaders in the company. We have Erica Del Toro. We have Cindy Cobos. We have many that I can mention right now. Even Jennifer B. David, right? So they can play a role in our company. Your wife, Sheena Sapaula, Ceci Vargas, amazing leaders in the company that we get to learn from. And then we're open to that. So I think that's why it has made the company so strong, that we give the opportunity to anybody. Doesn't matter their religion, their color of the skin, the language they speak. We don't care. We just care what you can bring to the table to make the company better. And that was something that caught my attention when I got started too in PHP. Is like, okay, so we're not going to be judged for anything. If you believe in God, you believe in God. If you're Christian, Catholic, or Jehovah's Witness, we don't really care. So we are open to receive anybody to come to the company. And if you want to, it's not that if I want to, because I want to make everybody winners, but if you want to be a winner, and if you follow the system, which is very easy, like you were showing the blueprint, if you just follow this book and you're coachable and open to learn, you will make it in this industry. So whether you're a woman or a man, you can do great things in the company, and we need that and everything that we do in life. So I think PHP has the best opportunity for a girl or a woman to be a leader in this industry.
Yep. Yeah, I think that there's one common denominator between all the faces you might see here right now in this podcast is all three of our wives are actively involved in the business.
Yep.
Actively involved in business. It's not like, oh, Papi, you go to the office. I'll see you home at 5. Smooches, you're out. No, they're not just a supportive role. They're an involved role. Flor, your wife, Christian, is an involved partner.
Yeah.
Ceci Vargas, involved partner. Sheena, involved partner. So, Rodolfo, what'd you say about that? What's your 2 cents on
women?
Yeah, and the women and yeah.
Yeah, I give you a different perspective on the female in the industry. Traditionally, the industry sell policies to cold market. Okay, and a cold market is this. I can go and meet with somebody in the cold market. I really don't care. I'm an immigrant from El Salvador. They must be afraid of somebody. They should be afraid of Christian. Okay, they should be afraid of Matt or me. But I'm okay to work in the cold market. But let me put it to you like this. Christian, let's just say Flor has a client, and this client wants to meet at his home at 10 p.m. in his apartment by himself, a 65-year-old single guy. He wants to meet with Flor, and he only wants Flor to sell the policy to him at 10 p.m. Would you like your wife to go and visit this client?
Of course not. Okay,
probably not. Okay, so imagine, Matt, you have your daughter doing the business.
Heck no, she ain't going to nobody's house.
So traditionally, the industry sold to, oh no, I will never let my wife to go and talk to anybody like that. So the tradition of the industry sells to cold market because our business is structured in a way that we start through referrals and warm market and through a program called matchup system that we provide clients to our agents through matchup system, or we work through warm market because we do that, or referrals, because we work through those. Our wives are, if you want to see it in this way, they're protected to go on and talking to a stranger. I'm okay, my wife talking to somebody because that person is warm market. We know each other in a certain way. So with that, it gives open to women to do this business. I know in my son, by the way, even guys though, like, I mean, I like to work with people that I know is a type of referral, myself, preferably.
Uh-huh.
I like to work with warm referrals, matchup, somebody refer me to them. That's the way that I learn the business.
Sure.
That's the way that I like to do it. So women, in my opinion, they should go and talk with the warm market because our business provide that, or our business model is through referrals and warm market. Women, they do very good in our business, very good. And also because it's a husband and wife interactive type, we encourage couples to do business. Uh-huh. My wife is with me. I'm with her. You're with Sheena. There is certain type of communication. You're with Flor. Christian is normal. We go to trips. We're going to Monaco. We're going to France. We're going together with our spouse. Yep. We do events tailored to couples. I mean, the culture and the environment of the company is very, very effective and is excellent for women to do this business.
I will put it down as we protect our environment. We protect our women, even girls that we have on the team. We protect them in that environment that they feel safe, right? We want to bring them to this environment, but we make sure that the environment is safe for them to be whoever they want to be in the company. So I like that. That's one of the reasons, like I said, there's too many, but one of the reasons I got started with PHP is because of that.
Yeah, and plus, in your organization with TGA, I mean, Marlene just did a couples Zoom webinar this past Sunday on how husband and wives can work together and create stronger couple power in marriages and business partnerships. So
yeah, and that's another thing. Where else in corporate America or in any other company they care about your marriage? Like honestly, like nobody else. Like my wife and I'm not gonna say we're perfect. We it's like ups and downs. But having this environment, having Marlene and Jose to be able to talk about anything going on in our lives has made us more stronger. Like my wife and we were clashing at the beginning because we were both leaders, right? Yeah. But we understood how to work together, and now we're like this. Now she does whatever she needs to do. I do whatever I need to do. And then now we're working together. So this environment will make you stronger in your marriage as well. So it's really good.
Yeah. One area I like to highlight, Rodolfo, you brought up a very good point too, as well, about the fact that we don't have to cold call. Because I remember for 12 years before PHP Agency, I had to cold call because I was buying leads and I was meeting with strangers, doing my own dinner seminars after mailing out 5,000 pieces of direct mail. So people come to my dinner seminar. Hopefully somebody does business with me. And so, for example, Christian, role play with me, okay? So, Christian, I'm gonna call you. You're a lead card I got, and I don't know you, right? But I'm cold calling you. But this is the way the insurance industry actually works. So I go like this: ring, ring. Hello, is this Christian?
Yes.
Yeah, Christian. Yeah, you filled out a form. I'm calling you about the form that you filled out here about life insurance. Do you recall filling out that form?
Yes, I remember.
You do? Well, I'd like to sell you some life insurance based on your checkoff number 1, 2, and 3. When can I come over to your house and explain your options?
Excuse me. How do you got my information? Who give you my number?
Yeah, you filled out this form, and you said you wanted a 15 or 30-year policy because you just bought a house.
I don't remember giving out my phone number though, but I did search to get insurance, but no.
Yeah, so I'm calling you up about that form though. I like to stop by your house to discuss your options and whether a mortgage protection option will work for you or a term policy will work better for you. Which would work for you tomorrow? Boom, see a click, done. That's a cold call. It's a cold call, right? He doesn't remember. Okay, let's flip it. You and Rodolfo went to college together. You guys are boys. Okay. So ringer, hey Christian, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Matt. I know you don't know me, but I'm actually sitting here with your boy, Rodolfo Vargas. Rodolfo, say hi to Christian.
Hey, Christian, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, don't forget that you're coming this weekend to the barbecue. Okay, don't forget. But
yeah,
let me
right.
introduce you to Matt. You want to meet Matt. I think that you guys are going to get along really good.
Okay, awesome.
Christian, listen, Rodolfo and I, we're busy making calls. We're campaigning for a great financial future because there's some amazing things going on. But we're having a conversation right now. I was asking him, who do you know that's got ambition, desire? He's an entrepreneur by mindset. He loves money. He loves helping people. And guess what? Your name came up. Is that true about you, or is he just pulling my leg?
Oh, he's right. He's right.
Really? If you don't mind me asking, what is it you currently do?
I own a PNC business right now, and I also have 3 body shops.
No kidding. You know, I remember that Allstate just sold off their life and annuity division. Is that true?
That's true. January 1st.
Gotcha. So how are things on your end? Is this property and casualty? Is this something that you're going to see yourself doing for the next 10, 15, 20 years, or are you open to things?
I'm open to things, but I don't think I want to do PNC no more because right now it's crazy with the market. A lot of companies are dropping their contracts and not getting us comp and collision.
Awesome. Listen, I got a lot of things to cover together with you, and there's too much to cover on this phone right now. Can we set up a time for us to drop by your office or for us to meet for some coffee so I can explain a little bit of who we are, what we do, and potentially with Rodolfo, what's in it for you? What's better for you, Wednesday or Thursday?
I think Thursday is open. Thursday is open. Good day.
Right, and your alternative close from there. What's more of a palatable conversation? That conversation there, talking to friends and family, or like, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. That's what separates PHP differently. That's why our training manual is about warm market, because we control this. We control this conversation through the recruiting process. I cannot control this conversation through cold market lead process. That's not part of our manual. And we spend $0 on marketing and advertising. And that's what makes PHP Agency different. And when I had my own agency, I tell you, thank God I spent $150,000 a year in budget when I was buying leads. I think the conversation with a lot of companies is if you're not spending $1,000, $2,000 a month in leads, you're not real. You're not a real player. I can't even coach you if you're not spending that much money in leads. So another area I'd like to transition to is talking about inflation.
Can I talk about a little bit on the life insurance, man? Just
okay.
Really quick.
You want to answer
when my brother passed away, he had a life insurance.
Okay.
So because of what happened with my mom and I got life insurance.
Wow.
When I got introduced to PHP, my brother, 15 years old, had a life insurance. My stepmom got the money, and because of it, she was able to be okay for 1.5 years without working. Okay, so she was able to grieve, right? And then last week, you guys may know, I was on a call with you guys with the leaders and the dream team call. And then 4 minutes later, after the call, I got a call that my dad had passed away. This is last Tuesday, May 10. He passed away. My mom passed away May 5th. My dad passed away May 10. And then this is 2 years after my brother passed away. So going through it again, that was on a Tuesday. I get a call. The first person I called was Patrick. I said, Patrick, this is going on. I said, well, all I can tell you is, Christian, stop wherever you're doing right now. Talk to God, and He'll give you guidance. And that's why I was always kept it cool. I broke down even a moment, but I was able to process it differently. And then my dad had a life insurance, right? So and then I had to handle the business. And then on Wednesday we had a presentation. This happened Tuesday. On Wednesday I had a presentation for the business. Guess who did the presentation?
You.
I did. Because I signed up for this. Like you were saying, Rodolfo, we were talking in the same call that yesterday morning, that to be a leader, you gotta think about yourself. You don't have the luxury to think about yourself when you're a leader. So I had to show up. So I show up, I did the meeting, I did the presentation, and I have been nonstop. And then on Friday is the viewing, and on Saturday I'm burying my father. So a lot of people here in the office like, how is it that you're doing it? It's because of this. Because of the environment that we have in the company. I consider you guys as friends, and then we get close, and you guys become family. So I travel with you guys all over the world. So, but this environment is the one that has helped me the most of everything. So I am this, and then I get the text message to be in the call. I'm like, yeah, sign me up. This is why I sign up. I want to tell my story. So this happened with my dad. So now I'm going to carry the last name Orellana, and that's why I want to be able to be one of the top leaders in the company. That's what I signed up for. I want to be able to sit on the table and make decisions for the company, but I'm going to make the decisions for this company from my heart, because I already went through it. And I know what life insurance can do for people and family. So I'm not going to be thinking about money, how much money I can make. I'm going to be thinking about how can I better this for a lot of families that I'm going to be working with. So I just wanted to close with that on the insurance side, Matt, and I know we're going to talk about some inflation.
Freaking profound, bro. Freaking Rodolfo, this guy. That's what separates you, Christian. Jeez, bro.
Yeah, that's our we can never forget about to speak that language.
Yeah.
The crusade language, what we do for families, what the product that we sell, with product is opportunity, and the product is also the life insurance. Yeah. People need this. You're living a life of significance forever. You're talking about your lasting. If we could track how many lives can be changed because of the life insurance, how many families we're going to be able to change because somebody had a life insurance. Somebody's going to be able to eat. Somebody's going to be able to go to college. Somebody's going to be able to pay their home. Somebody's going to be able to mourn.
Yep.
Some people pass away, and the family are not able to mourn because you're thinking financial. Mm-hmm. Instead of thinking, man, let me mourn my family, somebody close to me. So this is a great reminder. I think this is a reminder to everybody out there when you're in the field. If you're listening, you're an agent, you're in the field. Remember this story. It can happen to any of us. It can happen to any of us, and it can happen to the family. When the family is telling you, I want to think about it, or come back next week, or you know what, I don't have, sometimes the client says, oh my gosh, that's too much, $80. Oh, that's too much. No, I don't have it in my budget. Let me think about it. Think about stories like this. Make sense? Yeah. Instead of learning closing techniques,
Yeah, right now, just to think about it, every time I sit down with someone, is my stepmom is left alone with my little sister. She's 11 years old.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
My stepmom is 40. She's young. My dad was 68. And then he lived a life insurance. Now she's talking about buying a house for the opportunity that my dad left them, So I'm able to, with my mom, there was no life insurance with my mom. So we struggled to bury my mom. She went 2 years without a plaque on her grave because we didn't have the money to buy it.
Wow.
We didn't have the money. So 2 years went by just to go see her at the grave, and it was just grass because it cost $2,500. My brother passed away. It cost $34,000. Right now, my dad is getting buried, and we don't have to worry about anything. because I made the decision, 19 years old, to be the first business owner of my family. And then I sold my business for multiple seven figures. And I'm in the financial position that I can take care of those expenses right now.
And people think that the war is going to stop, because it is stopped for us when somebody passes away. But the funeral home doesn't say, oh my gosh, you know what? Oh my, I'm sorry for you. You know, we're going to charge you less.
It's crazy to go to a mortuary, the negotiation skills these guys have.
Because they're hitting you on such an emotional level.
Oh, when my brother passed away, I went to the first mortuary to get the services. I almost got in a fight with a guy that was serving me, because I show up and the way I took it is like, these guys trying to sell me tomatoes and negotiating with me when my brother passed away. They don't care. It's a business. They have to make money. Everything they sell you everything. Everything is money for them. Their time, they're doing anything for you is money. Right now, just to bury my dad is going to cost, even though everything is already paid for, it's going to cost us $12,000. So it's a business for them. So they don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your son, whoever. They don't care. It's money to be paid upfront. If not, you're going to have the body of your loved one sitting in the fridge for 5 to 6 months until you collect the money. And they don't care. They don't care.
Yep.
Oh, there's a lot of people that say, oh, but if I pass away, I want my family to send me back to my country. That costs money too. It costs about $20,000 to $25,000. It's not for free. It's not for free. So people got the wrong mentality that if you pass away, they send you to your countries for free. No, let me tell you, you're gonna pay $20,000 to $25,000 for your body to be sent to your country as well.
Crazy. Woo! Powerful transition there. So, last few minutes here of the podcast, your thoughts and ideas. A couple of things come up. I don't know if you guys have seen this. 7.8% inflation, and these these cell phone companies. What's the word for it? The cell phone companies are adding to your cell phone bill an economic what is it called? An economic adjustment charge to your cell phone bills. An economic adjustment charge to your cell phone bills. I wonder what that is. So, Christian, want to take a first fire away on this? So the question is, what do we do to combat inflation? And what are your thoughts about this economic adjustment charge being added to our cell phone bills?
I think at this point right now in life and everything going on, inflation being the highest it has been ever, I think it's making more money. Making more money is the way to doing it, fighting it, right? So a lot of people right now, are you open to an opportunity? Maybe. And they're not sure. Like everybody that you ask right now, whatever you do, if you get asked, are you open to an opportunity? You should say, yes. Is there money to be made? Of course I'm open to it, right? As a business owner, I was open to it. And then PHP has paid me $518,000 since I started. I've only been here 2.5 years. It took me 5 years in my business to make that kind of money. 5 years. So anybody has to be open to an opportunity to have the tools, the support, the system, and the results that you can come in and make extra money for you and your family. So I think that's one of the ways to fighting inflation right now.
Rodolfo, what's your thoughts?
It comes to the here's what I tell people all the time. You don't want to be a reactor. You don't want to act on desperation. This is just a consequence of the economic decision that the country has done lately, right? But here's the deal: we have COVID. Okay, there was COVID. There was time where people the country was with a lot of fear, but there were people through COVID. They make a ton of money, right? Yep. There were people who play scared during COVID. There were some people who play offense during COVID, and they make more money than they ever made before. The same thing with this a crisis. Some people are going to take advantage of the crisis. It's interest going up, market is going down, the interest rate, inflation is going up, interest rates, the loan interests are going up. And here's what I tell people: are you prepared, or are you going to be reacting after the crisis? Says, oh my gosh, I remember over here in Houston, it's all about oil and gas, right? Hey, why don't you do this business insurance? I'm doing okay, man. Doing great, man. I mean, I'm in oil and gas. I'm in Houston. Man, I make a couple $100,000 a year. I don't need this little business, insurance business. Bam, crisis, oil. Everybody got laid off. Hey, Rodolfo, are you still in the insurance business? You still have... Brother, yeah, come. But why to wait? Why are you waiting?
Yeah.
Why? Everybody who's listening to it, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? Call out, reach out, do something. Like, don't wait. Whether it's our business or something else. Guys, I'm not saying, hey, guys, so the realtors, mortgage guy, come over here. I'm not saying that, okay? That's not correct what I'm trying to say. But why don't you prepare? What did you learn? Just in case. That's what I tell people. Just in case. Why don't you get your license? Just in case. By the way, Christian says, you know, my wife was in the business for a year. She didn't do anything, but at least she was in the business. So when they wanted to sell the business, they say, you know what? I'm in. I want to do this. Now, you know, we're ready. Why, if you're listening to this, or if you receive this message, why don't you think, you know what? I'm doing okay right now. You know, I have money, having a great job. Let me get my license. Let me give it a try with no pressure. But guess what? Majority of people wait. Oh, now I have pressure on my neck. Now I'm losing the house. Now I'm losing the car. Now everything is bad. Hey, Matt, how's PHP doing?
It's doing great, bro. What, you need me to take that car off your hands?
No, it's like come on. It's like, that's what my advice to people. If you're listening to this, I know that I don't want to sound like a preaching or something like that, but don't wait. Don't wait for the crisis. Don't wait for the crisis. Christian, everything that we sell, the life insurance is prepare for the crisis. You know, Christian just said it. You know, I had some experience when my mom passed away. But you know what? When my dad passed away, we were more prepared. You know, we were prepared, even though, you know, it's different now, but we're prepared now. Prepare is the word, is prepare.
Speaking of prepare, just look back on history, on the value that has occurred in our economy. If you look at the dot-com bubble in 2001, the economy lost $4.6 trillion. The global financial crisis in 08, 09 lost $2.3 trillion. During this COVID-19, the economy dropped in the beginning of 2000, $4.4 trillion. The current decline we have right now since the beginning of this year to where we're at right now, $7.6 trillion. We've already lost more money in this era than 20 years ago, than COVID, than 08, the Great Recession. And if you're not planning for your career, at the very least, if you're watching this, plan for your 401k plan. Look at your 401k plans. Make sure if you forgot about a former employer that you haven't done a 401k rollover yet, make sure you call that former employer. So listen, why am I letting my former employer take care of my 401k plan and leave it to chance? Because they have no vested interest to help me out. Because the other option you have is to do a 401k rollover. So therefore you can take charge of it. You can control it. And so therefore we can potentially help you out and figure out what to do with that, your serious money. So therefore it's not exposed to this market loss. You don't want your 401k turned into a 201k. You work hard for it. Your company matched you money on it. Your gains have been tax deferred. That's your money. And here's the crazy part. Let's say you lose 10%. You need a 12% return just to get you back where you started. If you lost 50%, you lost half, you need 100% return just to get you back where you first started. So the question for you is, if that was your situation, you lost 50%, how long would it take to get 100% return? The next year? Without exposing yourself to unnecessary risk? Or is that going to take years to build back up to where you started? If there's a chance for you not to lose any money, what Rodolfo was talking right now in terms of prepare, what would you do? Because oftentimes people think, you know, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right. Okay, if you thought you're doing something right, and then later found out you was wrong, what would you want to know? And more importantly, would you do something about it? So we talked a lot about, in today's podcast, a lot of different topics. I want to remind the PHP families reading this. Our book is Endurance. About this. What a great story here about being trapped on a boat. being stuck on a boat, having to ration food, and think about eating your buddies, right? But read this book called Endurance. While I was shuffling my books, because we're moving our office in our home. We just moved from Chicago, and we finally started to unpack some of the books. Rodolfo, next week I want to discuss this real quick, which is The Millionaire Next Door.
It's a great book.
Because when I was coming up in the business, I was coming up before I became a millionaire, I'd agree with a lot of these topics. But now that I'm a millionaire, 90% of this book I don't agree with. So let's talk about it next week, shall we? Let's talk about it next week.
Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. Yeah.
So Christian, as we wrap up, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts on this is thank you for the opportunity again. Like I said, I'm going to be able to share this story with a lot of my friends and family. But I want to thank, like I said, God, also my team as well. I have an incredible team right now that we're building with business owners. They're believing in my vision and my dream to take over the industry here in California and the community, to help a lot of Latino communities here in the United States. And obviously California is our main one right now. But if you decide to be open, like Rodolfo was saying, if you have a business right now, getting a license is not going to hurt you. You have already a book of business. You have a license, you can serve your clients with something different and offer to your clients. And then just, create the trust. You already have them as a client. Why not get a license to serve them as well? One thing that I would tell you is if you follow me or you are in California and would like to know more about this industry, more than happy to show you. There's three things that I offer. One is the support, the results, but most important one is that I'm going to be there no matter what. They're always going to show up, no excuses. I'm going to be there to support you from the beginning to the end. Those are the three main things that we offer as a team. When me and my wife, we have zero excuses. Like I was telling you guys, even in tough times, we always show up. We always, we go through things and then, painful moments, but out of those painful moments, if you're happy for what you're doing, that lifts you up. So in the worst moments, being around this environment has been the highest happiness that I ever feel. So it's not about the product like Rodolfo was saying, it's about what you can do for others. And that's exactly what I signed up for, is to be able to help more families like me that came to this country with a lot of dreams, whether it's to make more money, whether it's to have a better life, whether it's to help your neighbor, your cousin, your family. We're here for you. We support you. And then again, I want to thank you, Matt Sapaula and Rodolfo Vargas, for the opportunity to be here with you guys. And thank you, PHP as well, for the opportunity to be able to tell my story to the world. And I better be not the last time, right? Be not the last time. One day probably I'm gonna be you guys. I'm gonna be interviewing people, right? So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much, guys.
Proud of you, Christian. You earned it, bro. You earned it. This wasn't given to you. You earned it. So proud of you, big dog.
Thank you.
Rodolfo, your final thoughts.
I'm telling you, man, it's like today we had a very good podcast. I'm telling you, we're gonna have more people need to watch this podcast. A lot of people need to watch it. We talk about preparation for the crisis. We talk about dreams. We talk about the story about the immigrant that comes like I came and you can make it. You can make it. Whether you come from Honduras, El Salvador, Mexico, Philippines, we have it. This is a very important story. We talk about the female women in the business. Very special podcast today. I'll leave you with this. Whatever you're doing today, make sure that you're improving. Make sure that you're becoming a better leader. The market is going to pay a lot for leaders. There is one thing that is very scarce right now in the country, in any country, is leaderships. So do whatever you can to improve in your leadership, whether it's reading more, leading a team, do whatever it takes. If you right now, if you're only working just to make money, you're gonna make money, but you're not gonna have an explosion. Whatever you can, make sure that you improve in your leadership skills. Become a leader, because the country right now, what is gonna be needing in the next decade or forever, is gonna need more leaders. So if you're listening to this, improving that.
Awesome. And just the highlights. What you can do right now is, if you choose to go opposite of the crowd, the biggest thing you're doing from a courageousness standpoint, was everybody's screaming this way, when everybody's yelling this way, and the whole crowd's going this way, you got to go this way. You got to go opposite. I've made millions by challenging myself and challenging other people by going opposite. Sometimes the crowd is not right. Most of the times the crowd is not right. That's why, well, Matt, other people are doing this. Most people are doing that. Yeah, but most people are broke. And most people are desperate. And most people are, right? There's a reason why there's a separation between those that have and those that have not. And by the way, everybody, every face that's on this podcast right now has been on both sides. So we're not acting as if we're just holier than thou. Listen, we've come from struggle. The biggest people that you find in that Leaders Bulletin of struggle is right here, the folks here at PHP Agency. But as Rodolfo had mentioned out earlier, reminded by our CEO, founder, Patrick and David, if you choose to be a leader, you've given up the right to become a victim. But if you choose to be a leader, well, guess what? The best of life will start coming your way. You want to become a leader of your family, you want to become the leader of your department, whatever it is, just become a leader. And what we figured out a long time ago is that it is so gratifying to be able to be in a position throughout this pandemic, throughout the struggle, to be able to rise above this pandemic and not be affected financially. Because we're in an essential business. We're in a needs-based business. The last time I checked, we did a lot of deep research on this. But we figured out, no matter if you're a baby boomer, Generation X, Gen Z, millennial, you know what we figured out? 100% of those people in those generations need money. And sadly, 100% of these people in these generations, sadly, will one day meet their maker. And you want to be there not only with prayers and condolences, but you want to be there with prayers, condolences, and a check. It relieves a whole problem a whole lot smoother and a lot faster with respect to the legacy that one has left behind. So that being said, guys, the next 5 years, I hope that you focus in on creating another zero after your income. These next 5 years, I hope you decide to plant those seeds of greatness right now and decide to say, you know what? I don't want to be capped any longer. I refuse to be capped. There's a special type of characteristic and demographic that comes here to PHP Agency, and I hope that you saw that within inside Christian Orellana, within inside Rodolfo Vargas, and our many other leaders within inside PHP Agency. So if you haven't done so already and you feel that this podcast is giving you value, please consider hitting like. If you watch a couple of our episodes, you haven't done so already, please consider hitting subscribe and hit notifications to be alerted the next time we upload our next video. Every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, the PHP Podcast is here. Next week will be PHP Podcast episode 47. Rodolfo, we've almost been doing this for a year.
Wow.
Right? And don't forget, we have this annual convention coming up in August 10th to the 13th in Las Vegas. We got the trailer videos up on our YouTube channel. We got this promotion this week. Our companies right now has got a contest right now for USA Today. We got a lot of interesting contests and innovative campaigns for our agents to get recognition and get financially rewarded for the effort and leadership that they express in their lives. So that being said, on behalf of Christian Orellana, Rodolfo Vargas, I'm your money smart guy from Dallas, Texas. And until we meet again, continue to help people, continue to love people, and continue to change your lives today. God bless you guys. Bye-bye. See you next week.